There seem to be a lot more snowmen around this year, more than usual, and they appear to be able to move. I know. It sounds crazy, but we've had a lot more snow than usual so far this winter. So much for global warming. After an especially big dump of the white stuff a few weeks back, I noticed the local kids had been busy making snowmen. Or at least snow people. PC, you know. At first, I thought it was charming, and it made me smile. But then, I happened to admire one particular snowman in front of a yellow house down near the end of the street. He was around 5 feet in height and had a top hat, a red scarf, a carrot nose, and 2 broken branches for arms. He, or it, even had stone eyes and a smile made from pebbles. An older couple lived in the house, so the snowman was probably the work of their grandchildren. Nice. It was nice. But then it moved. The snowman or snow person moved. I had gotten into the habit of looking for the snowman when I headed down the street. But one day I saw it was no longer in front of the yellow house. It was in front of the gray stone house next door. I gave my head a shake. I was sure it had been in front of the yellow house. But snowmen can't move. I must have been mistaken. No big deal. Until the next time I went down the street and saw the snowman was now in front of the blue house. The blue house on the other side of the road. On the other side of the road. This time, there was no mistake. The snowman had moved. But snowmen can't move. Of course, I didn't jump to conclusions, but rationalized the situation. Somebody simply made a different snowman in front of the blue house. Maybe the snowman in front of the yellow house, I mean the stone house, had fallen down, and they'd used the topper and the red scarf and the branches when making a new snowman. Maybe it was the same kids who had created both snow people. After all, snowmen can't move, right? Right? I would have continued to ignore what I was seeing, but for the snow family in the field behind the house. I was looking through my dining room window when I first noticed them. A snow family. Mom, Dad, and kid, just off to the right of the tree, directly in front of my line of sight. Isn't that cute? I saw them every time I sat down, and they always made me smile, until the day I looked up and found them standing to the left of the tree. The left. But they had been on the right, not the left. Was I losing my mind? Did I need new glasses? Or was it a case of just not paying attention? I tried to forget about it. After all, it wasn't that big a deal. But the next time I went down the street, I made a point to look for the snowman with the top hat, which was now back in its original position in front of the yellow house. And when I returned home, I found the snow family were back standing at the right of the tree. Was I going mad? I could have sworn. I got hold of a small notebook and wrote down the exact position of the Snow family, complete with a little drawing of them, and I also noted the date and time. Then I went for a walk around the neighborhood, notebook in tow, and I wrote a short description of every snowman I encountered, sometimes with a drawing and noting the time and the address. The next day, I repeated my walk, notebook in hand. Half of the snowmen, had moved. Half! The snowman with the top hat was now in front of the blue house again. But the most egregious example was a very distinct upside-down snowman, topped by a pair of upside-down gumboots. It had not only changed houses, it had gone around the corner, actually changing streets. Didn't anybody else notice? Anybody at all? My God! I staggered back home and poured myself 2 fingers of Jack. I slumped down into my dining room chair and spit whiskey all over the tablecloth. The Snow family was no longer to the right or the left of the tree in the field behind my house. They were in the backyard. My backyard! How did they get in the backyard? Snowmen can't... Oh, never mind. I took another drink, and then I knew what I had to do. I went to the garage for a shovel. Not a snow shovel, but the hard, pointed spade I used for digging into the ground. I walked over to the Snow family, raised the shovel above my head, and hesitated. I was about to commit murder. At least it felt like murder. I mean to use a shovel to smash and decapitate a snowman. It was almost like smashing and decapitating a human being. I hesitated, then slammed the blade of the shovel into the snowman. The dad, it was easier to attack the biggest target. And then I slammed it down again and again on the mom, on the kid, until there was nothing left of them but a pile of beaten down snow and broken twigs. I was filled with bloodlust. Or was it snowlust? I briefly thought about destroying some of the other snowmen on the street, especially the one with the top hat. But someone would call the police on me, and how could I explain it? Instead, I went back inside. I think I may have had a few more drinks then. In any event, I went and lay down, and when I woke up, the darkness had taken control. I staggered into the living room, looked out the window, and nearly went into cardiac arrest. The snowman with the top hat was standing in the middle of my front lawn. It was no longer facing the street, but was looking directly into the window, directly at me. Its pebbled mouth was no longer curled into a smile, but was a straight line curled down at the edges. It was frowning at me. "I'll fix you," I said to myself. Actually, I think I said it out loud. Talking to a snowman. I went to the garage for the shovel. The murder shovel. And then... The following item appeared on the local news talk radio. The RPS is investigating the death of a local man who was apparently decapitated by a shovel. Police were called after a number of witnesses reported seeing the head of a man atop the body of a snow person on the front lawn of a home in South Regina. What witnesses first thought was a red scarf was actually blood which had stained the front of the snow person. The headless body of Harvey Ingalls, 53, was found lying on the blood-soaked floor of his garage, next to a spade shovel which had been apparently used to slash his head from his torso. Neighbors reported that Ingalls had been behaving oddly, as if he was frightened of something. No one knows who made the Snowman. If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren, and I write and tell original ghost stories and original horror stories featuring cryptids such as the Night Floaters, werewolves, and the Black-Eyed Children. Help me to get to 2,021 subs. Please help me to get to 2,021 subs in 2021. And 2021 is here. Till midnight. Cheers.